Hi. So why are so many people against America? Why does it have to fight a war on terror? How did things get so bad? Uh, why do these crazy Muslims, and so forth, why do they want to go and blow everyone up in the Western world or hurt the country in some way? There are a couple of reasons for it. Now, in order to rule the world, as all of you know, there was a time when it was done solely on technology. Who had the best weapons, who had the best armor, who had the best crossbows, and so forth, going back into history. Then, after the Second World War, it changed because Britain, as you know, the whole kingdom fell apart because of finances. So the US realized that you just don't you can't govern the world by technology only. You need financial control over the world as well. This is why a lot of programs like IMF were created, the International Monetary Fund, and the programs and so forth. But if you look at these programs, financial programs, they look very nice on paper. If you read their about us and their whole mission, it sounds very nice there, but in reality, it is causing more harm. Or the donor countries, are allowing they allow uh, these programs to cause them harm. Now, I don't know why. They should know, and I think they do know, but I don't know why they are not realizing it. I think the problem is realization here. So, the no, just read that. Okay. So the problem now is, what happens is, let me tell you from the other end of the spectrum, because I am in Islamabad, Pakistan. And recently, 10 months ago, a new government came in power, which is the Imran Khan's government, PTI's government. And they have done a spectacular job of screwing the whole country up in within 10 months. Imagine if your bills were $100 today, and tomorrow you're going to be told your bills are going to be $500. So that is the current situation here. They've done such a bad job. They've increased everything 500% at intervals of 100%, 200%, one again 100%. So they're taking it up to 500% in 10 months. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because these local leaders, these local politicians of these countries like Pakistan and so forth, Imran Khan and PTI government in this case, they went to the IMF. We need money. IMF said, you need money? Okay, we are there to help you out. We'll give you money. They had some meetings, then they had an agreement, and they then handed them the money. Now, I have never seen IMF or somebody from IMF or the country, respective donor countries, stand up and say they are wrong, they are misclaiming. We did not say to raise the prices. That is what happens here. The local politicians who take this money and do the corruption, put the money in their own pockets or mismanage, tell the general public, their voters in these countries like Pakistan, that it is the IMF's fault. It was the IMF who told us when giving the loan, they dictated to us that we should raise the electricity prices, we should raise the gas prices, we should raise the petrol prices, we should increase inflation, we should decrease the value of our currency. All these things were dictated to us by IMF, so what can we do? Okay? So now what happens is, in order to get the votes again and gain the sympathy of the average person in the country, mind you, a lot of them are illiterate. They don't have an understanding of this ecosystem. Now, what happens is that by doing this, these local politicians then instill deep hatred into the normal everyday person in the country. There are people in the US as well right now who do not have anything to eat. But the US is busy feeding people at the other end of the world who do not have anything to eat and ignoring their own. Why? Because they want to maintain their dominance as one of the top on the top of the food chain, one of the leading countries. So that's why they ignore their own and give this money to other countries. Now, when they give this money to other countries, these other countries, their leaders, their politicians take this money and tell the people, their voters, that the US is bad. Now, out of all the people in the country, there are bound to be some extremists, some crazy Muslims, and so forth. So, when you make life so tough for the average person, that if I told you tomorrow your electricity bill, if you're paying $100 today, it's gonna be multiplied by 500%. So you're gonna be paying $500 next month, not $100 anymore. The car you were buying for $20,000 is now going to be $100,000. Okay, so forth and so on. What you could buy from $1, now you can't even buy that for $5. Right? Everything's gone so expensive all of a sudden. And we're not talking about luxury items, we're talking about everyday items like rice, flour, bread, fruits, food, food. They've taken that as well. And they've successfully blamed it all on IMF. Now, IMF, I've seen, always stays quiet. It doesn't negate any government, like, no, you are wrong. We did not say that. No. So you yourself make terrorists. Your tax money goes to your government. Your government then puts it in IMF and such funds. You fund countries where there is a lot of corruption, where there's a lot of economic mismanagement, and these politicians then tell the average person that it is the US's fault, or America's, or Britain, or Canada, or France, whichever country it is, Australia, whatsoever. It is their fault. They dictated to us that we should make everything expensive. Now, the average person now hates you. They hate America. They hate the Western world. Now, if the food is being taken out of your mouth and everything has gone so expensive that you don't know what to do anymore, then you'll say, fine. If they are not gonna let us live, I'm not gonna let them live either. And they start going into terrorism. They start blowing themselves up, like in Afghanistan, like elsewhere. And plus, when you put the religious fanatics in as well, who are anti-Jewish, who are anti-Christians, who are anti-US, who are anti-West as well, you put that into the mix, and then you have a real nice big pot of terrorists for yourselves. So the bottom line is, if you are giving money to people, first of all, it is not the American government's money, or the Canadian government's money, or the Australian government's money, whichever government it may be. It is your taxpayers' money. You are making their lives more insecure. You are inviting people to terrorize your countries. Bombs, murderers, killings every day. The safety is gone. Why? Because when you gave your money as aid to these people, you give it to the top tier. The top tier in these corrupt countries put their in their own pockets or mismanage it and tell the average person they did it. Okay? So even though you want to try and do good, you are actually ending up causing more harm on both ends of the spectrum. Now, you might get that money back because the people who do the corruption, eventually they put it in the banks and that money goes back to your countries, or they buy something over there in your country or put it in your bank. That's the whole economic circle. The people who understand what I'm talking about know this, that eventually the money does get back to you via a different route, but you've successfully managed to make a hell of a lot of terrorists and your lives unsafe as well along the way. So think about it. Next time, if a country says, leaders like Imran Khan or governments like PTI in Pakistan, they come up and tell people openly that it is the IMF's fault, they dictated us. Have the IMF stand up and say, no, we did not say increase this, we did not say increase that, we did not say do this, we did not say no that. Save yourselves. Stop giving your money to make terrorists. Okay? This is first hand from a person who is sitting in Islamabad, Pakistan, and it is happening right now, and I'm telling you as it is happening. So think about that. Thank you.